What's going on, everybody? This is Renegade #1, aka the Feminist Killer, hashtag Logitorian. And I want to talk to you guys about blackpilling yourselves in every aspect of your life. And this is going to be a long video, but we're going to talk about a wide range of topics that you need to be blackpilled on. When you blackpill yourself, you're freeing yourself from the opportunity of being manipulated by other people. That's the job. That's the job of the society. This society, a lot of people are geared and they make money off of selling bullshit. And I'm going to talk to you, but I'm not going to be the only one talking to you about this shit. I got my guy Oreo Man, and I got my guy Batman Beyond 6'4" here, and we're all three going to talk about this shit. So I'm going to introduce them.
What's up now?
What's up, fellas?
All right. So basically, we're going to talk about Black Lives Matter first, right? Black Lives Matter, right? That's the biggest dumpster fire that's being propagated in history of propagation, right? In the history of propaganda. And the reason is because the idea or the notion that black people are being targeted by the cops and they're just victims. First of all, let me tell you guys something. If you look at half of the shit that you see in the incidents of black males getting shot, half the time this shit is justified. Sometimes, don't get me wrong, sometimes the cop was in the wrong, but sometimes you can see that either the black guy overreacted, got his ass shot the fuck up. It is what it is. That was not a victim. Hey, how you doing? And to me, we have to understand that it's not as cut and dry as you make it. There's a lot of variables involved. We have to stop thinking with this simple ass mindset that, oh, white cop kills black male, he must be racist. First of all, let's break down the three terms, because a lot of people keep using the word racist in an improper context, an incorrect context. You got prejudice, you got bigotry, and you got racism, right? Prejudice is prejudgment without knowing anything about the person, right? Bigotry is kind of the same thing, but it's more severe. So a person is attached to an ideology that's not really real, and they have a hard time changing. So that's what a bigot is. Racism is systematic, right? It's a system that keeps a certain race of people in power and oppresses the other race of people, right? Now, a white guy calling you a nigger, though that's fucked up that he said that, that doesn't make him a racist, because he's not in power and he's not creating a system to suppress you, right? And it just sounds so fucking dumb when I hear people say, oh, he's a racist. How is he systematically oppressing you? By calling you something you don't like. It may have been fucked up. Don't get it twisted. I will probably cuss him out for saying it, but he's not a racist. You get what I'm saying? A bigot doesn't have to be empowered to be malicious. A racist has to be empowered to oppress you, right? And so, if you really want to experience real racism, and we all being sensitive today over some little ass sensitive shit, but if you go back to the 60s and 50s and 40s, if you was black, you couldn't sit at a counter. You couldn't go in a restaurant. You had to sit in the back of the fucking bus. You couldn't have certain jobs. You couldn't have a certain house. You couldn't live in a certain neighborhood. People probably spit in your fucking food. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's hilarious that we saying that the system today is oppressing black people. Get the fuck out of my face. Anybody that tells you to support Black Lives Matter can suck your fucking dick. Anybody that tells me to support or that I'm a coon, they can suck my fucking dick. I'm talking about balls and everything. I don't give a fuck. I have no shame. I don't care. And guess what? The black community, we don't give approval because we don't have shit in the first fucking place. So I don't give a fuck what y'all say about me, because guess what? I was an outcast, and Oreo Man was saying before I started making this video, Oreo Man said it the best. We were outcast before black people, but it's always in a time of need. Black people always want you to contribute. Always in a time of need. right? And so it's like, no, fuck that. We don't get no support, so fuck them, right? At the end of the day, Black Lives Matter tries to create this racial war, and it's never been a race war. All these SJWs throwing around the black people are victims and shit, and this race card bullshit, it's all exaggerated. That's why I tell y'all, you cannot listen to the fucking media. Stop listening to these dumbass rappers. Stop listening to these dumbass actors and actresses who are just puppets to carry out this fucking agenda. They don't know shit. And, you know, my guy Batman Beyond, he wants to speak on it too as well. So I'm going to let him speak on it.
So before I get back to Renegade, so what you guys got to understand is who created Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter was created by lesbian women. Think about that. Feminist lesbian women. And what is their goal? Their goal is to make a lot of black men feminine. You see, if you go on the Black Lives Matter website, they don't say anything about heterosexual black men. They don't, because if you look at the black community today, there is no masculine black men there to lead the women. And I'm also going to get to the black women as well. A lot of black women make bad decisions based off the culture that they choose. You see, everything that you see here wrong with the black community is due to culture. Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Beyonce, all being independent. Let's just be honest here. Black women can't be independent. They can't raise children on their own. They need a man there. So their goal is to destroy the entire family, because before the Civil Rights Act, before the Great Society Act that Lyndon B. Johnson signed, the black community was great. But then the global elite saw that, damn, black people are doing good. So that's why they created the Great Society Act, which is in exchange, if you take away the father, you get a welfare check. So the majority of black women today, they choose the welfare check over the black man to, you know, increase their livelihood. And unfortunately, it just shows that, do we really care about our community? Because if you look at the black community today, there is no structure. Because if it really is about structure, then why are we killing each other over $5? Why do we keep sleeping around the block? You know, why are so many black women getting pregnant from the same kind of dudes? They date thugs. Let's just be honest here. And
I also want to say something too, man. Why are black people, and this is not all of them, but some black people, we just don't know how to manage our money. I'm just being honest. Poor financial management. You know, you see people with nice cars, nice clothes, and they still living in a bad area. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, manage your fucking money. Stop blaming the system. That's not the system's fault. You know, again, we all have hurdles that we have to hurdle. I think excuses, it's easy to make excuses. It's easy to cop out and say, oh, it's because I'm black. But that's my opinion on that. But go ahead. Go ahead and finish on here.
Yeah, so again, Black Lives Matter. Do they really care about black lives? Because if they did, where's the accountability in the black community? In the black community, there is no accountability. We don't hold each other accountable. It's more of you do your thing and I do mine. And that's what's fucking everything up. Because back in the old days, you had the old grandmothers in the black community. They will hold everyone accountable. But we don't have that anymore. And a lot of black women, they lead the black community. There is no black man leading the black community at all. You see a lot of black men, they're dressing like women because who's raising them? Because let's just be honest. A lot of us black men, we get blamed for the destruction of the black community. But here's the question. Who's raising these black men, though? It's the women. There's no father there. Because think about it. If you have a young man that has no father there, but he's around his aunts, his female cousins, his sister.
How the fuck you think he's going to think?
I think he's going to act. He's going to think like a female, because if you look around, you see so many single mothers out here. Their sons are walking like females. So they have that feminine energy in them. That's why they get so emotional. When they act up in school, that's why they be throwing temper tantrums. They get that from their mother. So
you know what we're victims of? We're victims of our own stupidity. Yeah. Our fucked up mindset is causing us to be this way, not the white people. And let's talk about white people who support Black Lives Matter. You got anything to say to them?
So the first thing, if y'all know about Malcolm X, because I just want to say this. There's so many pro-blacks that claim that they know about Malcolm X. They wear the Malcolm X t-shirts. They got the posters on the wall, but they don't even know what the fuck that he says. He says to beware of the white liberal. The white liberal is the wolf in sheep's clothing. So the people that y'all be grouping up with, the white liberals, they are the real racists. You see, the mainstream media tells y'all that, oh, it's the white conservatives that are racist. I'll ask y'all this. Which party supported the KKK? Now, don't get me wrong, both parties are bad, but let's just be real. Most of y'all align with the Democratic Party. They created the KKK. They created they were against the Civil Rights Act, which, gave rights to black people. So the same people that y'all are supporting, they are against you. You are supporting the same group that is against you. And I'm going to say this last thing before I give it to the other guys. Lyndon B. Johnson said this in a quote. I'll have all niggers vote Democrat for the next 200 years.
God damn.
Think about that. That's what he said. He was a known racist. So the same party that y'all align with is the same party that created the KKK. Y'all complain about racism, but yet y'all kissing their fucking ass. Think about that.
Yep.
You guys take it, man.
And
time to hit
as far as, voting change, there is, first of all, voting doesn't mean shit. Right. And like somebody told me in my comment section, actually twice, if voting actually had a powerful impact, a powerful effect, they wouldn't make it so accessible. It wouldn't be that accessible. Right. They would not tell you to go vote. Right. Voting doesn't bring change. What's the objective? The average person says, let's be honest, if we ask the average liberal, what is your objective for voting? To create an equal, more fair society. Society is never going to be equal. Never. It sounds good in your mind when you're sleeping. But when you wake up in the world, there's always going to be somebody taking advantage. There's always going to be somebody on a fucking hierarchy. That's human nature. There's always got to be somebody running shit. There's never going to be a full equal society. Anybody who thinks like that is delusional. Right? Wake up. Okay? Wake up. Period. If you call yourself Blackpill and you're voting, come on, think about that shit. First of all, as black pillars, a presidential candidate is not going to benefit us because we're automatically in the minority. But first of all, when it comes to the Black Lives Matter thing, I want Oreo Man's touch on it as well. So what do you think?
I wanted to just elaborate what he was talking about as far as the black community not being led by men. My mom and father split when I was young, and I spent a lot of time with my grandparents growing up, and my father wanted to be there, but things wasn't right between my mom and dad, so they split. But my dad always said that the biggest problem with the black community is no man is there, and without no man, your kids don't have no guidance, and there's no structure. A man brings order to a situation, and that's what my dad always said. Like, the reason why so many black guys grow up and they don't know how to be a man because they never seen a man. They never had a man.
They don't know what it looks like.
To teach them how to be a man. And, I mean, I've experienced that myself. Like, even though my parents split, I still had my granddad, my stepdad, and even my dad, my real dad. He was in and out of the picture. But that's something that really needs to change in the black community, because in other communities, you see they have both parents. And I feel that's how children are supposed to be raised. My dad always said it takes two people to make a child.
Like your dog.
Don't you think it takes two people to raise a child? And that makes a lot of sense, And that's pretty much what I wanted to say.
And, to piggyback off what he said, there has to be structure, but unfortunately, and I'm going to get black-pilled here, if you're a guy that is still thinking about getting married or thinking about finding a girlfriend, you're wasting your fucking time. There is no such thing as the right one. There is no such thing as the perfect female. There is no such thing as the princess. You see, and I'm going to talk about conditioning real quick, right? So conditioning is training someone to behave a certain way in a certain circumstance. And I'm giving you an example of conditioning. It's like a stray dog on the street, right? You see a dog that is starving, that's been neglected, abused. It's been conditioned in that environment. That's why it's upset. But if you're a person that goes up to the dog, feeds it, takes care of it, you're conditioning it, to open up more. And the more you do it, then it'll be conditioned to behave differently. So what's going on is that us men, we have been conditioned to be simps. We've been conditioned to open doors for women. We have been conditioned to buy them shit on Valentine's Day. And I'm going to say this real quick. Stop celebrating the holidays is bullshit. It's just another way for women to get your resources, for you to invalidate their ego. Stop buying them shit.
It's just the opportunity to spend money and fucking party and do degenerate shit. It ain't nothing. Holidays don't mean shit in America. We don't have no fucking culture. Barbecuing, fucking, drinking, getting wasted, smoking weed, doing dumb shit. It's just an opportunity to be stupid.
And also, coming back to conditioning, right? Since we've been conditioned to do those things, we automatically assume that it's the right thing to treat women with respect, compliment them, buy them flowers. That's natural to us because we've been conditioned that way. That's how we've been raised. And guess what? Because of us simping and being blue pilled, treating women like they are gods or some shit like that, that's why they're entitled. You see, our simping is our conditioning to women. We have conditioned women to be entitled because we invalidate them so much. We condition them to think that their shit don't stink. So what we got to do as men, of course, you need to take the red pill first, understand female nature. You're going to go through red pill rage and then eventually go black pill, because we're trying to teach guys to stop wasting their time trying to hoping for shit that they're not going to fucking get. Women are not going to fucking change. So if you're a guy that's thinking that, oh, I'm going to find the right girl, there's a girl out there for me, you're wasting your fucking time.
Pull your head out your fucking ass.
You're wasting your time. Because the more time you waste chasing something, even if you do get it, it's going to be fool's gold, because there's so many guys out there, they've been chasing something for so long, and when they get it, and when they do get it, they realize that it wasn't what it's cracked up to be. So what we got to do as men, we got to stop having hope, stop being optimistic, accept reality, and do what we have to do. And also, I want to talk about discipline. We got to be disciplined. Discipline is the foundation to success. And I believe that NoFap is one of them. You know, NoFap helps me with that. If you can discipline yourself not to beat your dick, then you can discipline yourself not to simp. And I get it, it's not that easy, but you can still do it. Nothing is impossible if you don't put in the work.
Develop mental fortitude.
Yes, we got to have a frame. But a lot of us men, when we see a female around, we change our square. We take off our mask. We act very different because we're trying to impress them. Because it's in our nature. We got to uncondition ourselves to have masculinity. We got to bring masculinity back. Who gives a fuck what society says what a real man is? You see, society's real man is you kissing a woman's ass. She treats you any way that she wants to.
Being a provider.
Basically you being a pussy.
And let me touch on that too.
Go ahead. Being a simp.
And this is what you guys have to understand. Most of you men are being conditioned to be traditionalists, a traditional male, while you live in a society that's becoming progressive, more liberal by the fucking day. So think about it. You telling the male to be traditional, be a provider, be a protector, when today's women are not playing their traditional role. Those days are dead, right? If you listening to an old guy in his 50s and 60s, don't take any of his advice, because he's full of shit. Their tradition, the baby boomer generation, the silent generation, those generations are the most delusional ones. Okay, I've been talking to a lot of older men, and I'm gonna be honest, they disagree with everything I'm saying, and it's sad. It's sad. That's how they were brought up. And I'm just telling you how it is, man. It's just, if you take advice from older people, you're gonna be fucked. The belief that just because someone is older than you is wiser, that's dumb. That's dumb as fuck. It's all about the ideology, not the age. But my man...
And real quick, sorry about that. And the first thing I want to say is you can't teach old dogs new tricks. Nope. You see, the reason why those old men act like that is because they're used to living that blue pill lifestyle, being with their wives for over 30 years. They're basically simps, right? And every time I see a man and a woman walking together, because earlier, me and Renegade, we were at the Target parking lot, right? We saw a man holding bags while his woman just acting like she's the top shit.
Fucking fat ass bitch.
And what I told him was, in her left hand is an imaginary chain that she's holding, and it's a chain on the man's neck. Yep. If you get married, you're going to be a cuck. You're going to be a simp. You're automatically a simp. And we got to train ourselves as men not to give a fuck what people say.
Exactly.
Who gives a fuck what society says what a real man is? Okay, I'll give you all an example if we use that logic. If society tells you that a real man has to jump off of a tall fucking building, are you going to fucking do it? Logic would tell you not to fucking do that because you'll fucking die.
Stop looking for approval. Exactly. Yeah. Think for yourself. Stop looking for approval, man. I'm telling you. Like I made the alpha male video. I don't give a fuck about being an alpha. I don't give a fuck if somebody called me a beta. I'm going to be me because I know the truth. I'm not going to let somebody manipulate me into control. Oh, you're not a real man because, you know, you weak. Weak men, they don't take responsibility. They don't take care of it. Man, fuck out of here with that bullshit. You know, what you think, Oreo, man?
I'm going to say one last thing. Society puts so much weight on the man that everything is the man's fault. And it never holds women accountable for anything. A woman can do all kind of evil shit, and they'll never be held accountable for nothing. But men are always looked at as the adversary, the villain. And it goes back to what Bill Greathouse used to say. We live in a man-hating society where, you know, the women are placed on a pedestal and the men are suppressed down. And it's just sad that we live in that kind of society. But I feel women should be held accountable for the evil shit that they do to men. You know.
And one last thing, why do we keep feeling like we got to? Why do a lot of you men got to feel like you got to contribute to society to be accepted when they don't give a fuck about you? It doesn't matter how much money you put in, how much community service that you do. No one gives a fuck about you. That's the real black pill truth. No one in this society gives a fuck about you and men in general. These women don't give a fuck if you go into a pussy march with pink pussy hats and saying women should be free. These women don't give a fuck about you. You're wasting your time. You should be, here's the thing. If you're a man that's a feminist and you support that feminist agenda, you might as well cut your penis off because you're not a real man.
You're supporting your own downfall.
You're supporting your own demise because guess what? This feminist culture, they're trying to take us down.
Yep.
They don't care if they have to put us in dresses to destroy us. They don't care. It's all about their agenda. And guess what? They're using the backs of us to get their agendas fulfilled.
Yep.
Even if it's tricking you, even if it's giving you sex. Because like I said, women will do anything and anything to get to your resources, even if it's making you look like a fool. Hitler did the same things to the Jews. He led the Jews on, and look what he did.
Ooh.
He fucking killed them. We're going through the same shit right now with this whole SJW bullshit. All these liberals out here think that this society gives a fuck about them, when in reality it's all going to lead to the
They're just being a bunch of cattle following the fucking slaughter.
And one last thing I'm going to say, if Hitler was alive right now, I believe 75% of the liberals out here, they will all fall for it. They'll all be in camps right now. Because they always fall for the talk of everything is free. Nothing in life is fucking free.
No, there's no such thing as a free lunch.
Nothing is free.
He's got a catch to it.
It's somebody's paying for it. So we got to be realistic. You see, what they're doing is they're using shit that sounds good on paper, but it's unrealistic.
Yep.
You got to be logical. We got to have common sense.
Talk about dumbass Cardi B.
Yeah. You got Cardi B representing the Democratic Party.
Come on now. That's how you know this shit is. The bitch is stupid, yeah.
But a lot of you guys are like, oh, she's beautiful. Fuck her looks. Guess what, fellas? All these women have expiration date. They all hit the wall. She's basically plastic.
You got a fucking stripper advocating in politics. Think about that shit.
And she used to rob people. Mm-hmm. And that's what our community looks up to is trash.
You want to know
Cardi B is trash. I'm just going to call for what it is. You can call me a coon. I don't give a fuck. I'm looking at the bigger picture. You see, the problem with a lot of men is that they don't look at the bigger picture. They keep looking at the now.
Talk about these millennials, man. These dumbass millennials our age that don't get it.
And I recommend men to get the fuck out of this country, man. It's going to shit. And that's one thing we all got to accept. It's not going to get better.
Yep, it's a virus. And I just want to say this, too. I said too much freedom is dangerous. When you give a female too much leeway to do whatever the fuck she wants, she's going to develop the ideology and the entitlement, right, to do whatever she wants to do. And I was talking to Batman Beyond 6ft4 a few nights ago, and I told him, hypothetically speaking, if we had a female president in power, we're automatically going to a socialist society. I'm just letting you know right now, because if you ask every female, let's be honest, if you ask every fucking female. She believes in the idea of equality. Every female believes in the idea of equality. Every female. You will never meet a female that says, I don't believe in equality. If she believes in equality, she's telling you, I believe in a socialist society. Because a socialist society is everybody being on the same playing field. That's never going to happen, by the way. I hope it doesn't. You know, imagine you busting your ass financially and half your shit is taken and you got to share it with other fucking people. You do realize socialists don't believe in capitalism neither. Capitalism for you private business owners who make a lot of money, you got to share your shit with the rest of these bum ass people in society because it's the right thing to do. Fuck out of here. I don't want to do the right thing. I want to be free regardless of how you feel about it.
And also, we all know that we've been looking at, I'm going to talk about being the hero. Number one, stop trying to be the fucking hero. Stop trying to fucking save the day.
Heroism is blue pill. Go ahead.
You watch all these movies, Superman, Batman, and even though my name is Batman Beyond, but forget all that. But the point is that we've been tricked to, you know, risk our lives for people. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm not taking a bullet for no bitch. I'm not fucking doing that shit. Because you know why? Because I take the bullet, I die, people boo-hoo, and life fucking moves on.
Yep,
no one gives a fuck about it.
You're going to rot in the fucking ground, and people going to walk on and do the same stupid shit.
People don't give a fuck. So stop trying to be the hero. Stop trying to be accepted, like Oreo Man and Renegade said. Stop trying to be accepted by the society. This society is leading to your death. A lot of people are basically heading to the gauntlet. The ones that are NPCs that don't know what the hell is going on. This is why people need to do research and study. Yeah. But a lot of people are focused on trying to be accepted. Social media. Get off social media.
Social media is a false reality. Mm-hmm. It's not real. You think everybody's living their best life on social media? Everybody has a double life. That causes mental... studies say social media causes mental illness because people try to measure up to what they see other people fronting in front of a camera do, right? Everybody don't have it good, and that you shouldn't feel ashamed. Stop trying to be what everybody else is. Find yourself. That's another thing. If you are insecure and you have no fucking identity of who you are, you're gonna be in a life of turmoil, right? Find yourself. Be yourself, right? That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Go ahead. Oh, I want to elaborate far as like finding yourself. Within black culture, black people love to identify with things that are negative. And I know, you know, no other race of people try to identify with negativity. And I think that's a big reason to why I've always felt outcasted, because I don't identify with things that are negative. And it's just sad when you have a group of people that value all the wrong things. Because I thought about that to myself a long time ago. Black people value all the wrong things.
God damn. Go ahead.
You know, all the things you should be ashamed of or embarrassed about, these are the things that black people value. You know, and it's really sad, you know.
Talk about that mental illness, too.
You know, and I believe mental illness does definitely run in the black community. It's just black people don't talk about it. You know, black people like to drown out.
We like to mask it.
They like to drown out their issues with drugs and alcohol,
yep.
You know, and smoking weed, which is sad. But, you know, it's just, I just feel you have to come to a point to where you just do what's best for you, you know, find your own path in life and just learn to not care what other people think. That's what I had to learn to do too.
And remember this quote, fellas, the best slave is the person that doesn't even know that they've been enslaved. The best slave is a person that doesn't even know that they've been enslaved. Remember that.
Yep.
A lot of people are slaves, even though they seem like they're free, but they're really slaves. A lot of black people in the mind, psychologically, are slaves still.
That's true.
And again, I like what my man Batman Beyond 6'4" said. If you can make a slave comfortable with being a slave, they won't have the desire to be free. Being free is discomfort. Just because something feels good does not make it right. You have to stop thinking with your impulses and start thinking with your head. Stop thinking with your heart. That's how you know a lot of people in society are feminine. You're thinking with your feelings instead of your brain. Sometimes freedom can feel like shit because you can deal with the pressure from people, But sometimes you'll learn to deal with that shit. Like I said, I told you guys, there's a price with being a renegade. You can't sit there and say, I'm black-pilled or I'm a renegade when you're afraid of people's opinions. You gotta wake up and smell this fucking smoke. You gotta wake up and smell it. Read between the fucking lines. These politicians are crooked. Women are crooked. Women are the biggest puppets and the biggest implementers of all this SJW bullshit. This is not healthy. And think about it. When you get rid of morals, that's when you start getting rid of structure in society and shit starts to fall. You have to have morals. I did not say you have to believe in God. You can be an atheist and still have morals. Because don't get it twisted. I don't fall for anything. I don't fucking believe in God. My man Batman does. And guess what? We still respect each other and we still have that same ideology. If you believe in God, you believe in God. That's whatever you want to do. But my thing is, you got to have morals. You know, we live in this, like I said, millennials. I'm 24. How old are you?
I just hit 31.
I'm 25.
Exactly. We're millennials. And the thing is, a thing I noticed with millennials across the board, we don't really push morals like we used to do, because it's just not prevalent. And the thing is, we invalidate. The problem is, if you start having morals, you're going to invalidate other people's lifestyle. So you're going to make a faggot feel bad about being a faggot if you tell other people that homosexuality is bad. You understand? So my thing is, it's sad, but if you have morals, you're going to invalidate other people's lifestyle. Go ahead.
And before we end this video, as black pillars, we need to be reaching people as much as possible. We know we can't save everybody, but we got to reach people. If you're just going to waste time, then don't even call yourself black pill or red pill, because you're wasting a lot of time. A lot of people be playing around too damn much, because we got to stop. You got to pick a side. Is either you're with the common sense, with the philosophies, or you're for the world. This world is not for us. It's not. So you got to make a choice.
Death is true freedom. Remember that shit.
And you cannot be on the sidelines. You can't be lukewarm. It's either you're on one side or the other.
You can't be
it's your
bisexual.
Choice to choose.
You can't be bisexual.
And guess what? If you choose to be black-pilled and choose to be an outcast of society, you might die.
You gotta
I'm
know.
not afraid to die. I'm not. Death is inevitable.
Bring up that 300.
So I'm just being real here. All that fear shit is all out the window. This world is going to get crazier. The economy is going to crash soon. You're going to see a lot of people on the streets robbing each other. You talk about this virus is scary now. Wait till you see in the future around next year. Shit's going to get crazy.
And the virus is a lie too. That shit is
telling
exaggerated.
you, and it's a lie too.
They're
trying to control you. And I'm telling you, this economy is going to go to shit. Y'all just don't know. You got to be ready.
And before I close out this video, because I know Oreo Man got to bounce in a minute, just remember this. People will never hesitate. I'm going to tell y'all how corrupt people are before I close this out. People won't hesitate to sell lies. Lies sell. The truth doesn't. That's why rappers put the bullshit in their lyrics to get viewers, and they know it's going to get them a lot of money. That's why politicians say the same bullshit every fucking 4 years, because it gets votes. Lies sell. Truth doesn't. Because if they tell you the fucking truth, you ain't going to vote for them. I'm just being honest. So you got to decide, do you want to live in a delusional ass reality because your feelings hurt? Or do you want to accept the fucking reality? Because if you can accept the fucking reality, then you're black pill. Be black pill. Don't stop running around this big ass circle of denial and just accept it. Don't waste 60 years of your life, thinking that the truth is not what we're saying. It is. Accept it. Don't be 70 years old and like, damn, I wish I would have listened when I was 25. That's your dumb ass fault.
Yeah, like they said, stop wasting your time with politics. Guess what? If we really need elections, there'll be no point of elections if everybody was satisfied. What's the point of elections if everybody was satisfied? So hundreds of years of elections, nothing has fucking changed. Think about that. All this time, and nothing has happened. That's why they lie to people. They try to sell you hope to go vote. Because let's be real, they all know that if they gave everybody the change that they wanted, there will be no point of elections. There'll be no point.
Stop thinking that just because these people are wearing suits and they're articulating correctly, they have your best interests. They some thugs. They just like the niggas on the street. They just as bad.
Thugs in suits.
Yeah, they're thugs in suits. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, my thing is, again, before I close this video out, man, just understand, first of all, don't trust nobody's word, especially a female. Because, listen, it's all going to go to shit. It's already going to shit. The fact that we're trying to put women in power is bad enough. We shouldn't even be at this point. But, yeah, man, I'm Renegade #1.
Batman Beyond 6'4".
Oreo, man.
All right, and we out.